Hi, I'm Britton Taylor, and you're listening to Verse by Verse. I would like to begin by giving you a partial quote from the book of Psalms. And here's the partial quote. I will not be afraid. One of the things that we Christians share in common is our trust and reliance on God. We know that God is the provider of all things that are good. Today, I want for us to focus on one of the many benefits that we have because we put our trust in God. Many scriptures in the New Testament talk about our not having fear. Here are two of those encouraging scriptures. First from John. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. And now from the book of Timothy. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. The book of Psalms has so many scriptures and statements that give us comfort as we are encouraged to rely on God for our safety and our deliverance. In fact, Psalm chapter 103 is the chapter that lists so many of the benefits and blessings from God. I think of it as the Benefits from God chapter in the Bible. Now, we don't have time to list all of those wonderful benefits, but let's look at the blessing of not being afraid. I want to more narrowly focus on not being afraid of those who are against us. Another way of saying this is not to be afraid of those who are in a position to be our enemy, or those who have an intent to be our enemy, either real or imagined. As children, we have all had what my mother used to call our boogeyman. This may be a fear of the dark or a fear to sleep in a room by ourselves and therefore need to keep the light on, or a fear of being alone, or the fear of walking somewhere by ourselves. Probably all of us have had those types of childhood fears. But as an adult, I want us to focus on one fear that is real, and it is a fear that from time to time we have to deal with. That fear is the fear of what an enemy can do to us. Here is a passage in Psalms that will help us confront that fear of what an enemy can do to us. Psalm 3, verse 5. I lay down and slept. I awoke, for the Lord sustained me. I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people who have set themselves against me all around. If I may paraphrase this scripture, the setting is when we lay down to sleep. This conveys a time when we are alone and either asleep or about to fall asleep. It is a time when our mind can drift to what is bothering us or what is haunting us. God assures us that we should not worry or we should not fear what an enemy can do to us. It is He, our Father in heaven, who can and will protect us. He can keep our enemies at bay. With His protection, we can surely withstand any arrows an enemy can shoot at us. So instead of worrying about what an enemy might possibly do, endeavor to focus instead on what God can do and what God will do for us. So, rest in peace. When our mind is free to drift and our thoughts begin to narrowly focus, let those thoughts be on things above and not on the things below. As Colossians chapter 3 verse 2 says, set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth.
If you've been enjoying Verse by Verse and want to help the show grow, here's what you can do to get the word out. Wherever you're listening, make sure to subscribe. If you're on a platform that accepts reviews and ratings, those can both make a big difference in helping other people find us. Verse by Verse is a companion podcast to the Daily Bible Verse blog, which you can find on the Life, Hope, and Truth Learning Center. Check out the show notes for more.